All right, so let's talk about this idea, making someone truly, deeply obsessed with you. I know, it sounds pretty intense, right? Maybe even a little manipulative.
Yeah, the framework we're digging into today actually calls it a form of witchcraft. Like you're literally casting a spell. And we're not just talking about a simple crush or, a fleeting attraction. This is about a deep, compelling obsession with the very essence of who you are. I mean, that's some powerful stuff.
But here's where it all flips on its head. This is the big question. Who is that spell really for? Because what if all this witchcraft, this whole enchanting process, what if it was never meant for them in the first place? What if the person you're really supposed to be charming is yourself?
And that right there leads us to the absolute foundation of this whole thing. See, before you even think about any external moves, any little techniques, the source we're looking at says the most important work, the real work, is all internal. It all kicks off with creating your alter ego.
Think about this powerful idea. They call it the Marilyn Monroe effect. The story goes that she could walk down a busy New York street and be totally invisible. Nobody would notice her. But then, she could just flip a switch in her mind and boom. Instantly, she'd become Marilyn Monroe, the superstar, and every single head would turn. She was tapping into a whole different energy, a whole different version of herself, and it was a conscious choice.
Okay, but let's be super clear about something right away. When we say alter ego, we are not talking about creating some fake persona. This is not about being inauthentic. Because let's be real, trying to win someone over by pretending to be someone you're not, it's just not sustainable. That mask is going to slip every single time.
So if it's not fake, then what is it? Well, think of it as the most heightened, the most confident version of your authentic self. It's still you, just, without all those little insecurities you put up with. It's the you that you're already striving to be. Honestly, it's the version of yourself that you should be obsessed with.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? First, you've got to get super specific. Write it all down. Who is this person? What's their morning routine like? How do they walk into a room? Then you define exactly how you want to be seen by others. And the final, biggest step, you just start living as that person. The whole idea is to become what they call a vibrational match, where your inner energy and your outer actions are perfectly in sync with the person you want to become.
Okay, so once you've got that internal foundation sorted, how does this all actually work, psychologically? Well, this is where things get interesting, because the framework we're exploring dives into the actual chemistry of desire.
Now, the source lays out this really interesting and, maybe a bit simplified chemical theory. The idea is that when it comes to attraction, men and women can be running on different neurochemical fuels. For women, the theory goes, it's often driven by dopamine and oxytocin, the chemicals for happiness, bonding, connection. But for men, it suggests testosterone and vasopressin are the big players. And vasopressin is specifically linked to that feeling you get from overcoming a challenge.
So, what's the big takeaway from all that sciencey talk? According to this source, it boils down to this. To really spark that chemical reaction in a man's brain, there needs to be a little bit of a challenge. Now, we're not talking about playing hard to get or messing with people's heads. It's more about embodying an energy that says you are something worth striving for.
Which leads us perfectly into the practical side of things. How do you actually do this? How do you put that psychology into action? Well, the source uses this classic archetype, the siren, to give us a kind of playbook.
All right, principle number 1. And here's the thing. The very first key to embodying this siren energy isn't something you do. It's a total, fundamental shift in your mindset. It's all about getting out of what's called proving energy. Think about it. So many of us jump to prove how cool or smart or funny we are before the other person has shown us anything. Siren energy is the opposite. It's about knowing, deep down, that you are already worthy of receiving their effort and attention. You're not the chaser. You're the one who attracts. You just sit back, observe, and let them show you who they are.
Okay, on to principle number 2. This one moves from the big picture mindset to a very specific and pretty subtle technique. And it's all about how you use your attention. So it's about mastering the glance. We're not talking about a creepy nonstop stare, okay? It's about being really present with them. And when they say something that actually catches your interest, that's when you lock in. You give them your complete, undivided attention. And then you can look away. It creates this little push and pull with your focus that is apparently super, super magnetic.
And that brings us to the third principle from the Siren's playbook. And honestly, this one might just be the most powerful of all, because it's about what happens when you're not even there.
You have to create space. It's just a simple fact of human nature, right? You cannot be missed if you are always there. If you're constantly available, there is zero room for them to actually miss you. Having your own full life with your own friends, hobbies, and passions, that's not just good for you, it's incredibly seductive. It literally gives them the time and the mental real estate to think about you and to want you back.
So we've gone through the alter ego, the psychology, these specific siren techniques. But all of it, every single piece, circles back to one core non-negotiable truth.
I mean, you could master every single technique we just talked about. You could build the perfect alter ego. But if you don't have this one foundational piece in place, none of it matters. It'll all fall flat. Because, surprise, it was never about them.
And that really is the heart of it all. You just can't make someone else obsessed with you if you haven't first become obsessed with becoming the absolute best version of yourself. That external obsession you're looking for, it's just a reflection. It's a mirror of the obsession you have with your own life, your own growth, and your own happiness.
So, when you boil it all down, the real seduction here is all about you. It's about loving yourself first. It's about not wasting a single second trying to convince someone who just isn't interested. It's about knowing your own worth so deeply that someone else's approval is just nice to have. It's not the goal. That obsession from other people, it just becomes this natural side effect of you being completely obsessed with building your own amazing life.
Which kind of leaves us with one final question to think about, right? If this is all about obsession, maybe we've been asking the wrong question all along. Maybe it's not how do I make them obsessed with me, but rather, who are you becoming obsessed with today?